A warm welcome to the show. A new ballet entitled Delusions has just premiered at the Teatr Wielki National Opera here in Warsaw. The production by Isadora Weiss is a manifesto in support of women's independence and the right to choose their own path, even when that choice may provoke controversy. To discuss, I am joined by Nikodem Bialik, soloist. Hello and welcome, delighted to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
So, what was your first reaction when you found out about the concept behind this show?
The first reaction was definitely excitement. It was only because of the fact that Isadora Weiss is the choreographer. I worked with her once before and I knew right away it's going to be different than what we usually have during our artistical season. And I was just very excited to work with her again because it's more contemporary style, and I feel that I can be maybe a bit more present in that style. So the story, it's also important to me. The characters that she gave me, I think, resonate with my persona in private life as well. So it was a huge privilege.
The performance touches on identity, social pressure, freedom also. So which one of these themes resonates most strongly with you personally?
I think the social aspect, definitely in the first part, my character is the shepherd. And I think he represents the freedom. He shows the people maybe like an alternative way of living, of loving, of discovering themselves. He comes there all in white, barefoot, and he just flips everything the other way around. And it resonates. It's very important. I feel like he could represent a part that people are suppressing in themselves. So it's a huge privilege to do this character because the freedom that he portrays, it has a strong impact.
And how would you describe the production to someone who has never seen it, just to paint a better picture for our audience?
Okay, so it is in a contemporary dance style, but it is still performed by a ballet company. So I think this blend of styles, it's what's very engaging and interesting, because it is a contemporary dance, but we do a full-on ballet class before every day. So it's in our bodies, classical technique, it's our alphabet, it's our primary language of movement. And contemporary dance gives us freedom, it gives us curiosity, maybe ways to explore movement and portray emotions, whilst classical technique gives us precision, it gives us discipline and years of craft. So this mix, it's very engaging, and I think it's also very characteristic to the Polish National Ballet experience. So I think that can be something that would be encouraging for people to see how Polish National Ballet sees contemporary dance.
And the piece speaks about the pressure to be perfect. We have two main female characters, Roxana and Virginia Woolf. What do you make of them?
Well, unfortunately, they are quite delusional. I can't blame them. In the first part, Roxana, she's just infatuated by the beauty, like the magnetic persona of my character. She sees him sort of as this ideal figure, and he completely takes advantage of that. And she realizes right after that there's not much behind this surface of him. Then she can rebuild herself from the ground up. And she's just shocked, like why would she surrender to this quite superficial level of portraying yourself. In the second part, the main character, it's based on Virginia Woolf. We know that she was quite a delusional woman. She had very much depressive episodes, And in our ballet, you can see it, especially after she's put into this mental hospital institution. When she leaves it, this still haunts her. She sees people, we call them like ghosts, that other people are not seeing. She was refused to write in this mental institution, so she really lost herself there. And I think she just lost touch with reality. I think it's a different ways of being delusional, but there you can find ways of similarities as well.
So is there a particular scene or a moment that feels especially powerful to you?
For me, I think it's the duet that I have as Shepherd in the first part with Roxana, because it has like this very climax moment where we kiss. I know that I already wrapped her around my finger, I did my thing, I did my charming thing, and then at the end of this duet I'm literally pushing her away. It's a quite strong moment because that's what breaks her persona. She surrendered to my charming side, and then she was pushed away. That led her to completely renovating her personality. And I think it's like a quite graphic scene as well.
Okay, so let's talk about backstage a little
Yeah.
bit. How was it working with Isadora Weiss? You've already hinted at this. But...
Yeah, working with Isadora, it's quite crazy in the best way possible, because she kind of she throws the choreography at you, if you can call it like this. It just goes out of her in the moment. So you just kind of need to try to follow that. And because of that, there's also a lot of room for your own interpretation of that movement. Therefore, I can really feel like myself sometimes in those characters. So she just throws a lot of steps at you, and there's a lot of freedom to make it your own. And this whole process was something very special and personal for me. Even this personal side found its way into the costume, because we were experimenting with different options for the upper part of my costumes. There was a few options, and on one of the stage rehearsals I wore my personal top from my private wardrobe, and Isadora was like, "That one is great, let's keep that one," and it found its way into a final costume. So I really feel like I bring myself into this performance, like I literally put a part in myself on the stage. So it feels very, very personal. As I said, it feels as though I can really be myself and put myself through the lens of those characters. So I really cherish moments like this.
And was it more physically demanding than some of the other shows, perhaps?
It's a different way of physicality, for sure. Your body has to get used to it. Isadora often tells us to be maybe imperfect, or not together, or not too rehearsed, or not too dancey or beautiful. So it's a complete switch to what we have usually. We try to aim for perfection, to be, perfectly in line, to execute each movement technically as clean as possible. And here it's just, we should all throw it away for a moment, still have this in the back of our heads, but flip it to the other side and do something maybe in a more caricatural way or more in a theatric way. So it's a different way of thinking of dance. And from the physical aspect, it's actually easier to me, because I feel like it's very much emotionally charged, this movement. So if you really focus on the story and on the character, the movement seems just like a natural continuation of what the story is telling.
The show combines music from different composers in different eras. How significant was that?
The music, I think, it can dictate emotions sometimes. So combined with movement, it makes a great impact. It was also interesting for me to discover new composers that I didn't know before, also with the composers that I knew before, like Szymanowski, he was the composer of King Roger, whose the characters from the first part are based on. So his work I already knew, and it's mixed with more contemporary composers. So I think it's like a very fresh mix of music. It's also very appealing for the ear.
And this was the last premiere of this season. So looking back at this last year, so to speak, what stood out to you the most? What were some of the main challenges and perhaps the best moments for you?
The best moment is really the Urojenia show, the Delusions show, because as I said, I got to think of dance differently than throughout the whole season. And to me, that's what's most important. Also, I had a huge privilege to portray both characters that are essentially quite queer. And as a queer person, to me, during the Pride Month, it was very special. And I don't necessarily have a chance to do it often, so I will cherish this and I will remember this moment of the season the most. But we had quite a few premieres and each of them was completely different. If you had a chance to see, you know that it's like a completely different styles, different scenarios, and also one of the highlights I think was the Androids premiere that we had in May, because it was very almost like a film experience, like a ballet combined with a movie, and to put myself in this scenario, in this situation as an android, really, I never thought of myself like that before. So that's my favorite part of my work, is putting myself in all those different characters and costumes and scenography and just trying to feel what will emerge from me in these situations.
And the themes of this show, of Delusions, are very current. So do you think that the audiences will also see themselves in some of these characters?
I think it's very possible, because the choreography, it's very human. There's a lot of gestures that are taken from everyday life. As I said, Isadora often was telling us to do something not too dancey. So I think simple gestures can make people feel more connected to what's happening on stage. They can see like, oh, it's like an actual human being with a real history, with real emotions. So I think it breaks the barrier a bit.
And now you're in for a well-deserved break this summer. So any exciting plans?
Yes, I'm really excited to rest, of course, but I always start my summer break with a little ballet gala that my friend from the company is hosting in his hometown, and we get to dance there, to bring ballet to this like little Italian small town. And it's just the biggest pleasure for me to be able to travel the world, to visit amazing countries year and year. Few years in a row, actually, and to see how the people there that maybe don't have a chance to engage with ballet on an everyday basis like we here, how they appreciate it and how it's special for them. And that's what makes it special for me. I will also try to go to my hometown. I'm from Gdynia, so it's already like a summer destination by itself, so I really want to take advantage of that.
Nikodem Bialik, thank you so very much for joining us. Much appreciated. And thank you for watching Pulse of Culture. Please stay tuned for more here on TVP World.